On this week's Tuesday Talk, we are answering the question, is full-time RVing all it's cracked up to be?
In my opinion, it can be. It really depends on what you want out of your lifestyle. If you like to live small, or if you think you can live small, then full-time RVing offers a wealth of benefits to you. We always like to see new things. We don't like, even with the most beautiful backyard. In Tucson, we had a pool in the backyard and this mountain range behind us. It was nice. It really was. But we got used to it and we stopped appreciating that after a while. So when we move from place to place every week or two or three, we get to experience new sights, new sounds, new smells, new everything. We get to move, we get to see new things, and that's what we really enjoy. So for us, it really is all that it's cracked up to be, because we happen to enjoy some of those things. Well, really all of those things. But that doesn't necessarily mean this is going to be the right lifestyle for everyone.
That's for sure.
So what I like to say is, I would recommend full-time RVing to anyone, but not necessarily to everyone. Because there are bad things that happen. Tires go flat, you get blowouts on the road, you scrape your trailer getting down to a spot.
Damage,
things go wrong
mice.
All the time. Bugs, mice.
Not being able to find a place to stay for the night.
Well, I mean, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, you are at the mercy of nature, and you may not necessarily know the spot. We haven't really gotten ourselves into trouble, cross your fingers, but those kinds of things happen. Sometimes you park next to a shooting range that you didn't know was there, out in the middle of nowhere, and people are walking around with guns shooting into a backstop. Haven't really noticed unsafe shooting, but you're still around those kinds of things. So it's really a big change from living at home where you have a consistent everything around you, especially your environment. When we're inside the Airstream, everything is the same, but everything outside changes every time we move, and you just have to relearn, or really just learn for the first time, what works and what doesn't, depending on where you are. So that process we find fun and entertaining, but you might not.
Yeah. So I would say that what you normally see with full-time RVers is often the best side of it. Keep that in mind. A lot of us out there try to be as honest as possible, and we show some of the bad sides, but in general, what we're going to film is what we're having fun doing. And
like the hiking and
and the beautiful places that we're camping and everything else. So keep that in mind when you look at full-time RVing. If you imagine full-time RVing to always be like that, you will be disappointed. Luckily, we had talked to people beforehand. We knew that things went wrong, that there's a lot of planning involved, that there's a lot of long days when travel doesn't work out and you get stuck in a wreck for 2 hours because of eels. Things like that happen, and you just gotta roll with the punches. And so it's not always beautiful all the time. That being said, it's beautiful a lot of the time. And so for us, totally worth it. It is what it's cracked up to be. There are challenges though, especially if you are someone who likes routine, like Steve said. If you like feeling like you have things under control, that can be tough. I'm one of those people, so I'm just sharing it like it is for me. Routine, even with your home with you, is tough to maintain when you're constantly new places and doing new things. It's hard to have a morning routine, it's hard to have an evening routine. They change based on where you are, what you're doing, everything like that, and that can be a little bit tough. The control is also a big thing, since you may have the best plans in the world, but unless you actually have a campsite reserved, or even if you do have a campsite reserved, things could go wrong and you may not be there when you think that you're supposed to be there, and you may need to find a place to stay in the middle of the night. You may have mice coming into the Airstream and you can't figure out how they're getting in, and you may have dirty floors, or it's hot out. Yeah, you will have dirty floors. just letting you know. If it's hot out and you need to have the windows open to get a nice breeze, but it's super windy and dusty, you may have sand everywhere. We've had that happen as well. So there are it's hard to control everything. In a house, maybe it's a little bit easier because you know where you are, you know what you're doing, you know what time you do this, you know the best route to that. And that level of control is just not really possible when you're full-time RVing. So if that's something that's going to be a bothersome, then that's something to keep in mind.
That's going to be a bothersome?
A bothersome.
A bothersome? You don't want the bothersome.
No, we don't want
bothersome. You want to
bothersomes.
minimize the bothersome, maximize the what? Non-bothersomes. Maximize the non-bothersomes. Yeah.
So is it all that it's cracked up to be? For us, yes.
For us, yes. For you, maybe. Just depends on what your lifestyle is like and what you want it to be.
Yeah.
It certainly can be.
Yep.
But it's not for everybody.
Exactly. So I think that's it for this week's Tuesday Talk. If you have a question you want answered on a future Tuesday Talk, we are always looking for new ideas and new topics, so please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video,
give us a thumbs up. Even if you didn't, or if you think it's okay, or if you just absolutely hate it, give us a thumbs up.
Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next week for another Tuesday Talk.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.